Hi and welcome to this travelmentary. Some time ago I made a trip from Milan to Genoa using the Thello. The journey starts at Milano Centrale, the main train station, and from there we travel to Genova Piazza Principe with stops in Pavia and Voghera. It's a nice little train trip, and as always I created an animation with the main facts. The trip takes roughly an hour and a half, during which we cover an airline distance of approximately 74.2 miles. Okay, so we start right in front of Milano Centrale, one of Europe's biggest train stations. Opened in 1931, it is basically an example of fascist architecture. I've booked a first-class ticket, but it doesn't come with lounge access, so I go straight to the platforms. But there's a catch at the larger Italian rail stations. Before you can get even close to the trains, you need to go through a ticket control, which you see here. Okay, we are in the part of the station where the tracks are, and here you see the steel canopies, which were not part of the original design. In fact, the architect Ulysses Tacchini designed it with Washington's Union Station in mind, but the whole project was changed in various aspects to please Benito Mussolini's taste. The station has still some secrets from that era. In fact, I'm going to tell you more about them in another trip report. This is coach number 11, where my seat is located. I mean, from outside the train looks a little bit dated, but let's see what the cabin has to offer. In first class they have a seat layout with 2 seats on one side and a row of single seats on the other. Here's my seat, 14A. It's quite comfortable, but in no way as fancy as in the Frecciarossa. Next to it you have a power plug and a small bin. And these are the window shades. But what kind of train are we actually using here? It appears to me that the locomotive comes from Trenitalia, and it's likely a class 402B, or in this case probably a 402BF, since this train goes all the way to Marseille in France. Alright, we are leaving Milan. Our first stop will be Pavia in the region of Lombardy. On this occasion, I would like to invite you to follow me both on Instagram and Twitter, where I also share some travel-related stuff. You can find me under the same name, Travelmentary TV. At this point we are passing Milano Lambrate, a regional train station. It has 12 tracks and some long-distance trains used to stop here. Okay, we are in Pavia, still in the region of Lombardy. That's a very old town with its roots dating back to pre-Roman times. It's definitely worth a visit. If you're in Milan anyway, there are a lot of regional trains going to it, and it just takes you half an hour or so. From Pavia we move in southeastern direction to Voghera, which will be our next stop. Here you see the Ticino River, which comes from Switzerland, and actually there is a canton with the same name. As we are passing some beautiful Italian landscape here, I would like to ask you, my viewers, to tell me about your favorite train rides in the comment section below. That's very interesting for me, and it gives me some inspiration for future videos. I would love to test more Italian trains. That includes the Frecciargento and the Frecciabianca, and going to the very south of Italy, for instance to Naples and Sicily. Alright, this is Voghera. In the Italian political discourse, there's an interesting term, namely the casalinga di Voghera, which means the Voghera housewife. That's obviously a stereotype to describe an average middle-class person, maybe something like the average Joe or the ordinary Jane in North America. Voghera's train station was the place where one of the most devastating train crashes in Italian history happened. On May 31st, 1962, a freight train crashed into a passenger train, killing 64 people and injuring 40 passengers. Okay, for me this is a quite short trip, but if you travel to Marseille this would take over 7 hours. Long enough to get hungry and thirsty, right? Therefore, they have a Bistro coach where you can get some snacks and something to drink. That's exactly where I'm going here. If you made it this far in this video, why don't you subscribe to the channel? It's free and there are many more videos to come, a lot of train trips as well as flight reports. And actually I'm thinking about some ship trips as well. Well, after this walk through the train, I have finally arrived at the bar.
And just a snack here.
That's what I bought, a bottle of water and a Neapolitan wafer. Now we are already in the region of Piedmont, roughly 18 miles southeast of the town of Alessandria. Let me focus on the seat and the cabin features a bit. Above the seat we have reading lights and an overhead compartment for baggage. The seat comes also with a tray table. Legroom is good, just as you would expect in first class. A question that I haven't answered yet is the price of this little adventure. You can travel on this train for as little as €9, provided you choose the smart rate and you book long enough in advance. First class in the smart rate comes for €19. Those tickets are neither exchangeable nor refundable though. I would say the price is okay even for first class. However, at least when I traveled, Wi-Fi was not available. We're getting closer and closer to our destination, time for me to evaluate this journey. Well, for me it was a nice little trip, which was not too expensive. The first class ticket doesn't come with many perks though, but for that price I don't think you can expect things like lounge access. A Wi-Fi connection would have been nice though. As I said, you can use this train to go to Marseille. However, the travel time is a little bit too much for my taste, but still it's a travel option. What's your opinion? Have you ever traveled with this train? Or maybe on the other Thello train, because actually they also operate a night train from Paris to Venice. I would like to create a report about that as well. I'm sure that's an interesting journey.
Ladies and gentlemen, next stop, Genova Piazza Principe. If you're leaving us here, please collect all your personal belongings.
We have arrived at Genova Piazza Principe, where I leave the train. Here's some footage of the area around the station, very beautiful, and on the left side there's the Monumento a Cristoforo Colombo, who most probably was born in Genoa. Anyway, that's it for this time. Thank you for tuning in, please don't forget to share, like and subscribe, that really helps my little channel. See you next time and I wish you a great day wherever you're watching.